What if the reason behind your prolonged unemployment isn't lack of jobs? And what if it is not AI the cause for your unemployment? Have you ever asked yourself why every time you send out job applications, you are constantly rejected, but you do not have a specific reason why you're not being hired? You go to that interview and you feel that you have nailed it, but at the end of it, they never call you back. They don't even give you response or feedback. Welcome to the HR Spotlight podcast. I am your host, Elizabeth Nabiswa, a platform where we shine a light on the world of work. And in this particular video, we want to spotlight a neglected issue that no one wants to talk about. As I said in my introductory video, at the HR Spotlight podcast, we are going to have real and practical conversations that will help us move out of this unemployment menace. Because let me tell you, as someone who has had the privilege to sit on both sides of the table, both as a job seeker being interviewed for a role and as an manager hiring for a particular role, there are so many jobs. In fact, employers at some point have been forced to go out and get qualified candidates to fit for roles, and yet we have our own Kenyan graduates who are unable to secure a job. So what is the real elephant in the room that is causing you to stay unemployed for so long? Because when we become victims and stop looking within us, what are we doing to work on ourselves and become better? Isn't that the question we should be asking ourselves every time we are rejected, every time we don't get a response? So let's talk about it. Leo kumewaka moto, and we are going to talk about it. Employability. Did you know that the number one reason why people stay so long without jobs is unemployability? The fact that they are not employable. Is there even a term like that? I know you're surprised. I was too the first time I heard about it. So what is employability? Employability is your ability to remain valuable, relevant, and in demand across jobs, industries, and when change comes. That regardless of the type of change, you are irreplaceable. Because guess what? It is not due to lack of jobs nor AI that is replacing you. It is actually your stagnation that is replacing you. Let me take you back to my first video where I share my story of unemployment and how I struggled to gain a footing in the industry. And I remember when I got my first internship, I was thrown into the deep end to go and manage an organization with more than 70 employees. And I was solely in charge of manning the HR function. And now come to think of it, whatever made me to excel in that role isn't because I had experience. No, I didn't have experience. But whatever made me excel in that role is because I possessed one particular skill that made me employable and last in that role. I'll talk about that skill later. Let's be honest. Employability is not a title. Employability is not a degree. Employability is not how long you have worked. Now that you know what employability is, ask yourself this question. Are you employable right now? If you're a professional and you lost your job tomorrow, how quickly could you get another one on your own terms? And if you're a graduate, ask yourself, is really lack of jobs the real reason you're still unemployed? Enough of those questions. Now that we already know what employability means, and I'm going to repeat what it actually means, that employability is your ability to remain valuable, relevant, and in demand across jobs, industries, and when change comes. Yeah. So will you remain relevant 2 years from now based on the skills and the competencies you have? Will you still be in demand 2 years from now? I think that's the question we need to ask ourselves every time you wake up in the morning to go to work and come back and rest and say, yay, I'm doing well, I'm excelling. Ask yourself that question. Are you replaceable? If you are replaceable, then continue watching this video. So, let me take you back in my first video where I struggled with getting a job. Then finally, I get a job, right? So it's not about how I excelled. It's the shock that I got. One of the functions of HR is recruitment. It's very key. So I joined these organizations and they have 5 open vacancies. And I remember the director telling me, Elizabeth, you need to fill these positions real quick because we cannot operate without these people. They were laid off before you joined. So I'm like, piece of cake. Just hiring, and then we have so many graduates out there. So I go ahead, I made the job advert, I post on all job posts and all social media platforms. And so 2 days later, I check on the email database, I have more than 800 applications. I'm like, these ones, it will be quick. So I start filtering through. So what I used to do was to actually go through the first 100 CVs. If I get qualified candidates, I will stop. I won't keep looking. But in this particular case, I went through the first 100 CVs, and guess what? I only got 1 who was qualified. So I go through another 100 CVs and I get 3. I go through another 100 CVs and then I get 4. So in total, I have around 8 people that I need to interview. So I invite all the 8 people for the interview. I'm so confident that that I'll find the right candidate from these people. But guess what? On the interview day, out of the 8 people, only 3 show up. Despite the fact that I had sent the invite a week earlier and reminded them 2 days to the interview, and I had asked them to confirm on email whether they'll be attending or not. And out of those who showed up, I can't say I got anyone that will fill that role. So I had to restart the process again, go through the remaining 500 people and see whether I'll get a qualified person or not. So it was so frustrating that there are so many people outside who are looking for a job, but they're not actually qualified for the role. One thing I realized when I was interviewing the 3 people, and then later on the many people I interviewed before I filled those positions, people had academic qualifications, but they were not employable. And one of the questions I used to ask them, or I normally ask up to date, is, tell me, how do you keep yourself updated in your industry? And so many people fail because they have never intentionally taken a step to ensure that they keep themselves abreast with what is happening in their industry. So that brings me to what we are talking about today. I am going to share with you 5 key skills and traits that will make you employable in 2026. And my focus in today's video is soft skills, because we have talked so much about technical skills. Everyone has technical skills. Everyone can do this. Everyone can be taught how to do this, and then they learn. But the soft skills are individual based. Soft skills you have to learn on your own. Soft skills are influenced by the environment you are raised in. So if you're not willing to unlearn old habits and learn new things that will make you employable, then that's why you remain stagnated all the time. And that's why you get rejected all the time. So the number 1 skill that will make you employable in 2026 is professionalism. I know you are shocked why professionalism isn't that common sense to everyone. Let me tell you. And this is not an attack on Gen Zs or younger generation, but I think the younger generation nowadays, we are entering the workforce with a laid-back attitude, as we are no longer taking things with the seriousness they need. And as a millennial who is leading younger generation, I can tell you for free that we are so laid back in terms of how we present ourselves. We really don't care about how we dress because we want to be the authentic self. We want to be free. We want to come to the workplace like we are going to the markets, and no one should tell us, because we're in a world where freedom of expression is allowed, whether through words or through how we dress. And the slogan, my dress, my choice. So you just want to come to work the way you want. People don't want to be well kempt. The image and grooming is the first element of communication, because it gives first impression to whoever you're talking to. Situational awareness and social boundaries, that is still under professionalism. Not knowing to speak, what to speak, and how. And respecting the people you are speaking to, respecting your peers. If it's employers, respecting their work, honoring the job they have given you, reporting to work on time, submitting works on time without being micromanaged. professionalism is becoming a major issue in the current workplace. And most people are being fired because of lack of professionalism. So if there is something you need to intentionally go deeper and understand, what does it really mean to be professional? How do I become a professional person in my workplace? When you do that, you're increasing your chances of being employed in 2026. When you do that, you have just increased your chances of being promoted if you're already employed. I hope you're getting somewhere. I want to talk about the basic things that people ignore and yet that the major defining factors of our career growth. The second thing that I want to talk about is high impact communication. And sometimes you ask yourself, why smart people get ignored all the time? Because in 2026, being smart is not enough. Hard work is not enough. How are you communicating? Are you able to communicate value? With AI being there giving us all the information and logic, if you cannot communicate clearly and effectively, if you cannot take your ideas, compile them and articulate them clearly, then someone else who is good at communication will bypass you. And communication is not just about the words. Even non-verbal communication can speak for you regardless of what you are saying. So how you present yourself, what is your confidence level when you're speaking, what is your body posture? Because those non-verbal cues are actually what they're saying about you, not necessarily what you are actually verbally saying. And people will pick non-verbal, not verbal. So you may want to go and ask yourself, am I really good in communication? And if I am not, what am I doing it? There's so many free available materials that can make you an excellent communicator. You just need to be intentional and commit. So if there's a skill that you'll want to work on in 2026 is communication. I hope you're heading somewhere too. The third skill I want to talk about that will make you more employable in 2026 is your learning agility. Your ability to learn, to unlearn, to adapt, to relearn, so that you can fit into the changing needs. People who do not expose themselves to continuous learning are people who have stagnated. And you know what? There are people who can easily be replaced by AI and other people who have given themselves up to continuous learning. We have been raised in a culture or a society where people don't like reading. Someone would rather binge watch a series for the whole night, but cannot take just 20 minutes a day to read and learn a new skill. Reading is not only about learning skills. Reading certain types of books can also help you change your mindset and your outlook of life. So if you do not expose yourself to self-help books that will build you, then you will stagnate with old narratives that are being wiped away by the rapid changes in our career industry. I had a friend, and one day we were in a certain engagement activity and we were asked to share two wrongs and one right. Everyone knows that game, right? So this person goes ahead and says, one thing I knew exactly that he loved. He said he doesn't love reading at all. But I have known this person from a personal perspective that they were actually a great reader. And we were so competing in reading books. So later on I asked this person, why did you say you don't love reading and I know you to be a reader? And she told me, Liz, you don't have to love reading to read. Reading requires discipline. Committing that 1 hour daily to read a book and apply whatever you have learned in your daily life, that's discipline. Most people who read don't actually love reading, and that is what makes the difference. If we are going to sit in our comfort zone thinking that we need to like things for us to grow, growth is painful. My boss told me that, and it's very true. Growth is a very painful process that you must be willing to endure, to be resilient for you to grow. If it wasn't, then everyone would have been successful. Have you sat down and read the documentaries or the biographies of successful people and how they've been disciplined and committed? So if you do not give yourself up to learning and growth so that you can drop old habits and narratives that are leading you to self-sabotage and not grow, then you are the person that AI will replace. Because if you do not grow, then you will only remain with the basics and the logic, which can be addressed by AI. But if you keep learning new ways of doing things, if you're curious to learn and use that information to solve problems, then you're the one who will replace people who are not learning. So learning agility. When I was in that organization, let me take you back again. What helped me to excel is that I was so knowledgeable in my line of work. Yes, I had stagnated for over 3 years in my career, but I had not stagnated in learning and keeping myself abreast with what was happening in my industry. That is what set me apart even during the interview. And that is what usually set people apart when we call them for the interview. You ask them questions and you can see that this person, generally they're somewhere. So if you're depending on what you learned in school as the only thing you have to defend yourself during an interview, then that explains why you're failing. You should be in a position where you are even challenging what you learned in school, because we are past the information age. Things are changing rapidly. There are some things you learned in second year, third year, fourth year, and now they're no longer relevant. Can you really tell me that you can agree with me, some things you learned in campus, and right now you come to the real world of work and you're like, oh my God, I wasted my time. And that's the reality. So if you do not give up yourself to learning, you're stagnating and you will be replaced and you won't last a year. I'm sorry for giving you the brutal reality. The fourth thing that will make you highly employable in 2026 is being ethical. As a hiring manager and also as a HR professional, I get to interact with people from different perspectives. Some of them are old, some of them are young, but when we sit down as HR professionals and sometimes we just share some of the common reasons why people get fired, it is not actually due to lack of competence or technical know-how. Most people get fired because they are not aligned with the company culture and the values. So someone does not have a strong moral compass. So they end up stealing, they're not diligent, they're not hardworking, they're not accountable, they're not responsible. And so the company has no choice but to manage them out. Because you know very well you're supposed to submit this work by this. You're not communicating why you are late. You're coming to work poorly groomed. You're not being honest. You want to cut corners. You do not want to walk in the spotlight. You're just a questionable character. And sometimes employers wonder what to do with you because they do not have a reason to fire you, but again, they do not have a reason to keep you. I remember, have you experienced these people who have a lot of to-do lists that they need to complete, but you'll find them on Facebook. You'll find them mindlessly scrolling on social media platforms. But then you remind them, have you done this? No. Have you done this? No. Did you submit this? No. But why are you on social media? Because they do not have a strong moral compass to consistently deliver quality work. They're not diligent. They're not accountable. So what do you do with such people? And you cannot blame them. Some of these people sometimes reach a point where they feel like there's someone else living within them. And they feel like they cannot work on themselves at all. But let me bring you good news today. You can unlearn those habits. You can practice to be disciplined. You can regain your focus and your productivity back. You can be diligent in the way you do your work. You can be responsible and take ownership of errors and mistakes you make. And you can grow towards becoming a better version of you. It is something that needs commitment and patience and resilience. So if you lack those traits in 2026, my friend, tutaona view sasa career-wise. The next thing you need to have in 2026 to be highly employable and retain your job or even get promoted is the skill of emotional intelligence. With artificial intelligence taking the center stage of careers and every other industry, employers are getting back to human aspect of operations. They're looking at people with highly emotional intelligence skills, people who are empathetic, people who show concern and care towards others, people who reason with care and empathy, not just logic alone. people who are able to take ownership of businesses as their own, and they can deliver consistently without being micromanaged by their employers. Those are the people that employers are looking for. And while that cannot be spotted in the first interview, it is always spotted in either second or third interview. And that's why recruiters and employers have gone a further step to subject candidates to psychometric tests, because those psychometric tests will reveal your traits, your competencies. The tests will reveal your personality type and whether you are fit for that role. So don't think that you can be coached into getting a job. While recruiters and career coaches are raising the bar, employers are going a further step to catch up with that. They're agile. So if you think you'll have someone write a CV for you that is compelling and attractive, well, you'll be invited to that interview. If you think that you have someone who will coach you and be so good at that interview, well, you'll be caught at the psychometric test. And the current type of interviewing is no longer the normal questions, tell me about yourself and tell me why we should give you this job. Employers and hiring managers are using modern ways that are psychology based to ask questions. So I can ask you a simple question like, tell me, where did you grow? I'll start picking patterns. What did you do in high school? I'll start picking patterns up to the time you get employed. Then I already know the kind of person you are. So maybe technically good, but we may have an attitude thing. We may have a growth thing if you have stagnated. So that's the question you may want to ask yourself. Am I emotionally aware? Emotional intelligence actually is your ability to recognize, understand, and deal skillfully your emotions and the emotions of others. There is a way you can act when you're around people. What's your modesty level? What is your conscientiousness? Are you able to manage your own emotions? Are you able to recognize emotions in people when you start interacting with them? Now, how do you use that to your advantage so that if it is a high tension area, how do you de-escalate the tension? I think that's the question we need to ask ourselves, because if we have AI, if AI can do administrative tasks for us, then the employers will be looking at the human aspect in you, because now that is what will be used for discerning, judgment, and decision making. That's a skill you will want to develop. And the good news is you can develop your emotional intelligence skills. Every skill can be learned, and every bad habit can be unlearned. My final skill that I would like to share today that will increase your chances of being employed in 2026 is confidence. Confidence. Lack of confidence is the reason why most graduates are not getting employed. People come to an interview and you wonder, did you have a whole week to prepare for this interview? And they're like, yes. Then what is the problem? And one thing I have come to realize is that we are not facing a confidence problem. We are facing a low self-esteem problem, especially in environments that we were brought up. Growing up from a society where you are not encouraged to speak up, growing up in a society where you will always take the back seat and let other people have their way, you will struggle with self-esteem when you grow up. And when you don't have self-esteem, then definitely you do not have confidence. Those two go hand in hand. And the good news is you can work out your self-esteem. If there are books that helped me work on my self-esteem and then later on build on my confidence, are 4. And I'm going to share their titles. Number 1 is The Power of Positive Thinking by Norman Vincent. And the second one is The Magic of Thinking Big. The third one is the Bible. And the fourth one is Think and Grow Rich. I read those books and they changed my lives. I read those books and they transformed me. So if you do not have a discipline to sit down 20 minutes a day and read, you'll miss a lot of things. If you can sit down and watch a movie for 1 hour, why can't you sit down and read a book for 1 hour? Yet a movie is entertaining, but a book is informative. So, anyway, just to give you a nutshell of what those books talk about, They will tackle fear, self-doubt, low self-esteem, lack of confidence. When you read those books, they're going to transform your concept, your self-concept. Who am I? Where did I come from? Why am I on this world? Where am I going? It will help you to build, to understand yourself, your purpose, and why you are important. So those 5 skills, real quickly, I'll go through them. Number 1 is high impact communication. There is learning agility. There is confidence. There is emotional intelligence. There is being ethical. If you are able to master those 6 things, then nothing can stop you in 2026. You just need to learn them. You just need to be patient with yourself, but be intentional. Take proactive steps to start learning each and every of them, one by one. Are you struggling with confidence? Start with that. Are you struggling with communication? Start with that. I usually tell people how I started working on my communication and they don't believe me, but I'll share that on a separate video on how I addressed my communication issues, because this is not how I used to speak. I know I still have room to improve, but I was bad off. Let me tell you the truth. So I just want you to take personal initiative to cultivate these skills in yourself so that you are positioning yourself to become more employable in 2026. And if you're someone who has been struggling with career stagnation for the longest time, these skills, when you diligently learn them, you're going to be a very different person. Just give yourself 6 months. You look back and wonder, who is this person I am becoming? Change is inevitable. And if you do not commit to it and grow out of your old self, then you're going to be replaced. If there is a prayer I usually make, elevate me into a version that will fit into the season you have prepared me for. That elevation comes with grace, but it also comes with commitment and intentionality. And bye. I'm so glad that you decided to watch this video today. I hope that I have been very impactful, and I pray that this helps you out in your life. Commit to this journey and see yourself in 6 months a transformed person. If this video was helpful to you, I would like you to share with your friends, or your colleagues, or your family members, because we want to grow out of this menace and be great members of the society. Once again, I am your host, Elizabeth Nabiswa, your #1 career cheerleader. Bye and see you next time. God bless.